Welcome to the Ingrow platform demo. To create an account on the Ingrow platform, you can create an account by entering your basic details. Or if an account has already been created for you, enter the panel by email and password. The first thing you will see in a panel is an introduction that shows you in the features of the panel and the things that it can be done on a platform. On the home page, you can see brief information about your plan and the recent activities of your team members. From the avatar menu, you can access your company and also your account information. The first thing that is created in the panel so that you can have all the panel's features is the project. We enter the organization menu. Here you can see a brief overview of your organization or edit if needed. Also, you can see information about a purchase plan and information about a team, adding or removing members to the organization. By entering the email and specifying the member's role, we can invite them and then wait for their approval. We can edit information such as changing position or changing emails, and finally record them. If you need to delete a member, we will use the remove button, and we enter the project menu. To create a project, you need to enter a name and, if necessary, a brief description. What you see is the name of a project that can be changed and deleted. Project ID and API key are the specifications of your project, and if it needs to be rebuilt, you use this button. You must install the SDK to start a project. The choice of SDK depends on the platform you are working on. For example, you open a JavaScript platform and see its instructions after installing SDK streams are formed and your data will be sent to us. On this page, you can check the status of your streams, whether the events related to them will be sent to us or not. And you can have more details of each streams here. You can also see the events of the last 10 minutes, plan, and the last 10 activities on this page. In the next step, we enter the report menu. Well, as you can see, we have two types of report builders, standard and advanced. We enter from the standard menu. We can choose the stream, the type of analysis, and the time interval. The time interval has two modes, date picker and relative. Here, for example, we run for the last 12 hours. We run the query and wait for its result. The result to this query is metric and in the form of a number that we can use later to calculate KPIs. And finally, save the report. It enters the report table, the general details of which are visible. We can re-enter the reporter from the More Details option. If we want to make any difference, we can do this. Cut the ice. In this case, you have to recreate the report. For example, a series of details are added to the report. Whatever a group by is, select the interval or define a filter for it. A condition and group can be added to the filter that also covers the and or conditions. Here we define 3 conditions for the report that will filter the cities of Tehran, Mashhad, and Tabriz from the result of the report for us. If you need to delete or change the filter and select the order in which the data is displayed, we can do this in this way. In the JSON menu, we can see and check the codes with which the query was made. And finally, we will run the query. The result to this query goes back to us in such a chart that contains exactly the specification we have entered. We can change the way the chart is displayed or what information is displayed on the axis of the chart. And finally, we save the report. You will re-enter the table. The next type of report builder is the report builder that performs the behavioral analysis. Final analysis, for example, filters and details we wanted at each step and announces the final result. We filter it, and it shows us in a final diagram. Then we run the query. Wait, buddy, it only takes a few seconds. And we see the query result that can be displayed based on the value and percentage. And finally, the query is saved. The next type of report that we can create is the extraction report, which is again a behavioral analysis. We select the stream. We also select the properties that we want to specify from the stream in each step and finally enter the desired time frame. The query extraction result is a table which categorizes the desired properties for us. This table is downloadable and we can save it as here as well. The next option that Ingrow has for users is to add KPIs. Key KPIs or key performance indicators are added by entering a name, selecting a KPI-related category, and specifying the KPI target. We can also define specific points to show you how much progress you have made. You can specify its unit. The first value to be calculated is the initial value. Throw add KPI and according to the metrics you have already created, You can create a KPI formula. You can change the time interval if you need to. We do this here with the original time frame and we build the formula. We add as many components as we needed, apply it to see if the formula is correct or not, and finally run a KPI. In 3 different widgets, we can see the KPI result. Trend, which can have a certain time frame based on the components. Here it does not matter if you choose a time frame for both components. Bullet points and progress show how much you performed towards the goal. We enter the table of KPIs. The next menu is a dashboard menu. To build a dashboard, enter its name and we can specify the people who can access it. After creating a dashboard, you can see the general specification from the menu on the right, which can be accessed and changed, like adding and subtracting viewers, renaming the dashboard, and changing its background color. The first widget is the chart widget, for which we must specify the report name and chart type. The diagram is shown to us here, the size of which can also be changed. Other changes can be made by selecting the widget, such as changing the time interval and changing the filters. Or you can access the features that were previously seen below the chart from the chart option. For example, you can convert a graph to polar. And other features. Finally, the chart is saved. The next widget is metric. The metrics, since they do not have a special feature, we can only specify type. The metric number is displayed, and we can change its place if we want. In fact, the location of each widget can be changed. The next widget is KPI. By selecting the KPI, it will be determined which widget is supported and you can choose from them. For example, here we show the progress widget and finally conform it. Our next widget is text. Inside this box, you can type, specify the type of text, and change the color of a text or its background or any other appearance change you want. With your confirmation, the widget will be fixed, or by selecting it again, it will be editable and movable. The next widget is picture widget. We can add a photo through the gallery if a photo has already been added, or upload a new photo. And by dragging your photo into this pop-up, your photo will be easily uploaded. Finally, we build a dashboard based on what we want and save it. The characteristics of each dashboard will be displayed to you in this way.
Ingrow, the streaming data platform.